Stop everything you're doing right now. Breaking news from God has just been revealed. The divine has experienced a transformation that changes everything. Jesus left behind a secret message about the M mark on your hand that will shock you to your core. Through divine revelation, the truth begins to emerge. This isn't just another random spiritual message, this is urgent information about a marking you've carried since birth without understanding its true power. The M lines on your palm contain a code that was sealed until this exact moment in history. This divine marking explains abilities you've noticed but couldn't explain and the strange sense of purpose you've always felt. The universe has protected this revelation until exactly this moment, when humanity is finally ready to receive it. Everything happening in your life has prepared you to understand what the M mark on your hand truly means and the divine connection it represents. This message explains those unexplained feelings you've experienced. The strange sense of knowing things without being told. The unusual patterns you notice that others miss. The deep feeling that you have a special purpose. These weren't random experiences, they are all connected to the M mark you carry. God's transformation has activated these dormant markings. The divine power once concentrated in the heavens now flows through these sacred lines on human hands. This is why you've felt different lately, your marking is awakening. This revelation requires immediate attention. The M pattern holds codes for spiritual gifts that must be activated now. Those who understand and activate their marks will navigate coming changes with divine guidance. Those who ignore this message risk missing their spiritual assignments during this critical time. The cosmic window for this activation won't remain open indefinitely. Divine timing is aligned perfectly for this revelation, creating a special opportunity for marked individuals. Earlier would have overwhelmed humanity. Later would have missed the cosmic alignment necessary for activation. Quick, press the like button right now to acknowledge receipt of this divine message. This simple action signals your readiness to the universe and begins the activation process for your unique M mark. Spiritual forces gather around you now, waiting for this moment of recognition. They've watched your journey, knowing this day would come when you'd be ready to understand the divine marking you've carried your entire life. Type "I see my mark" if you're ready to discover what Jesus revealed about this sacred symbol, information that has been hidden for centuries until humanity reached this precise evolutionary moment. The moment you type these words, divine wisdom begins flowing through your M lines, enhancing your spiritual perception. This is the most significant spiritual revelation of our time. Your soul's evolution depends on understanding your mark. But you must act now, this activation window remains open briefly. Divine understanding begins flowing now. What does it mean that God died? This shocking statement refers not to literal death but to divine transformation, a shift in how the Creator interacts with creation. Think about those moments when you sensed something fundamental had changed in the world. The feeling that spiritual connections work differently now. The sense that heaven feels closer somehow. These weren't imagined, they were your soul recognizing the divine transformation taking place. Type "I feel the shift" as your awareness expands. That transformation carries special markers that have appeared throughout recent times. Each coincidence or unexplained spiritual experience connects to this divine evolution. Through cosmic insight, patterns emerge clearly. Perhaps you've noticed increased synchronicities in your life. Maybe prayer or meditation feels different than before. Possibly you've sensed new types of spiritual presence without explanation. These experiences reflect the divine transformation in progress. The Creator passed more than rules and commandments to humanity. Divine essence now flows directly through human vessels, especially through those with the M marking. Every spiritual experience you've had prepares you for this direct connection. Cosmic understanding reveals deeper meaning. Those moments when you felt unusually connected to everything? When boundaries between you and the divine seemed to dissolve. When you sensed a presence watching over you. These weren't imagination, they were your recognition of the new divine relationship. Living wisdom flows through this transformation. Your connection to the divine transcends old religious frameworks, carrying echoes of Jesus's true teachings that many institutions concealed from humanity. The universe reveals critical information now. Jesus left teachings about the M mark that religious authorities removed from sacred texts, determining humanity wasn't ready for such direct divine connection. These hidden teachings carry special significance. Jesus spoke of markings on hands that would identify those carrying divine assignments in the final era of transformation. Pay attention to his references about being marked for service that survived in current texts. Type I received the teaching as cosmic wisdom reveals Jesus's concealed message. He spoke of humans carrying divine coding within their physical bodies, information that helps you understand your place in the cosmic plan. Through ancestral sight, important connections emerge. Jesus recognized these markings in his disciples. He selected followers partly based on these divine signatures, though this fact was purposely obscured in official accounts. Living wisdom shows pattern recognition. Jesus taught disciples to identify others with these markings. He created a secret tradition of recognition that continued underground for centuries while official churches focused on control rather than empowerment. Perfect understanding requires examining Jesus's metaphors. When he spoke of being written in the palm of God's hand, he referred to this reciprocal marking, the divine imprint humans carry. When he mentioned the signs his followers would display, he meant these physical markings carrying spiritual significance. Beyond intellectual understanding, Jesus taught practical activation. The M marks respond to specific spiritual practices he demonstrated. The disciples witnessed mark activation firsthand, seeing divine power flow through these physical channels. Sacred family truth emerges with crystal clarity. The M mark appears differently on each person, but always contains the essential M-shaped pattern formed by lines on the palm or fingers. Look at your hands now, particularly where major lines intersect or create M-shaped patterns. Divine understanding reveals where to look. Perhaps between your thumb and index finger where lines create an M-shaped junction. Maybe on your palm where heart, head and lifelines form M patterns at certain points. Possibly on your fingers where creases create small RM markings. Type I found my markers. Cosmic wisdom illuminates your specific pattern. Some marks appear prominently, while others remain subtle yet powerful. Your soul selected the exact marking pattern needed for your spiritual assignment. Through spiritual sight, your marking's uniqueness becomes clear. You didn't receive this pattern randomly. Your soul arranged for specific line configurations that activate particular spiritual frequencies needed for your divine purpose. Living legacy flows through conscious recognition. As you acknowledge your mark, energy begins flowing through these lines more powerfully. Divine wisdom helps you interpret your specific pattern variation. Perfect understanding illuminates mark differences. Various patterns connect to different spiritual gifts and assignments. Some marks channel healing energy. Others enhance intuition. Many strengthen divine communication abilities. Your specific configuration indicates your primary spiritual function. Beyond surface appearance, spiritual activation begins now. As you pay attention to your mark, you may notice tingling, warmth, or unusual sensations in that area. Divine timing ensures these sensations emerge as confirmation of your awakening connection. Cosmic vision penetrates deeper now, revealing truths about your specific mark variation that explain your natural tendencies and spiritual gifts. Each pattern configuration carries information about your soul's divine assignment. Sacred understanding illuminates personality connections. Those with marks near the thumb often display natural leadership abilities. Those with central palm markings frequently possess healing capacities. Those with finger markings typically excel at communication and teaching. These connections explain talents you've displayed throughout your life. Type I understand my pattern as divine wisdom reveals your mark's full meaning. Beyond physical location, the depth, clarity and specific angles of your M pattern convey additional information about your spiritual blueprint. This explains why certain activities feel natural while others require more effort. Through mystical sight, historical connections appear. Many spiritual leaders, healers, and visionaries throughout history carried similar markings to yours. Their accomplishments offer clues about your own potential contributions. Famous figures like Mother Teresa, Gandhi, and Martin Luther King Jr. displayed prominent M markings that channeled their extraordinary compassion and vision. Living truth explains your natural spiritual tendencies. Some marks predisposed toward meditative practices. Others enhance ceremonial or ritual work. Many strengthen prayer or energy healing abilities. Your specific mark configuration reveals which spiritual approaches work most effectively for you. Perfect knowledge reveals why certain spiritual paths feel like coming home to your soul. Those teachings or practices that awakened immediate recognition. The spiritual symbols that needed no explanation. These recognition patterns signal divine assignments encoded in your mark. Divine wisdom reveals activation stages now. Your M mark has remained mostly dormant throughout your life, occasionally sending subtle energy surges during significant spiritual moments. God's transformation has triggered full activation of these divine channels. Sacred insight shows activation signs. Perhaps occasional tingling or warmth in your marked area. Maybe visual changes like temporary brightening or darkening of the lines. possibly increased sensitivity in the marked region. These physical sensations signal awakening energetic function. Type I feel the activation as cosmic understanding reveals progression stages. Initial awareness brings intermittent energy flows. Conscious recognition accelerates the process. Regular attention creates permanent activation that transforms your spiritual perception permanently. Through spiritual perception, energy movement becomes observable. Those moments when your mark seems to pulse with energy. The strange sensations that travel from your mark throughout your body. The sudden clarity or intuitive flashes that occur when touching your mark. These experiences indicate successful activation progression. Living wisdom explains mark responsiveness. Your conscious attention strengthens activation. Simple practices like gently touching your mark while meditating accelerates the process. Even acknowledging its existence enhances energy flow through these divine channels. Perfect understanding illuminates full activation indicators. Enhanced intuitive abilities emerge. Spiritual perception clarifies dramatically. Divine guidance becomes more directly accessible. Energy healing capacities strengthen. These functional improvements confirm your mark's increasing activation. Beyond individual experiences, collective activation occurs simultaneously. Millions worldwide are discovering and activating their marks during this divine transformation period. This synchronized awakening creates powerful resonance that further enhances individual activation. Divine insight reveals communication methods now. Your activated mark functions as a direct channel for spiritual guidance, allowing clearer reception of divine messages than previously possible through traditional means. Sacred insight shows reception techniques. Gently placing attention on your mark during meditation opens the communication channel. Asking specific questions while touching your mark enhances response clarity. Journaling impressions received through your mark deepens the connection. Type I open the channel as divine understanding reveals message types. Intuitive knowing flows through your mark, bringing information not accessible through intellectual means. Visual impressions appear in your mind's eye during mark activation. Emotional guidance communicates through sensations connected to your marking. Through mystical perception, interpretation skills develop. Learning to distinguish between ordinary thoughts and mark transmitted guidance. Recognizing the unique energy signature of divine communication. Trusting information that arrives through this special channel. These discernment abilities strengthen with regular practice. Living knowledge explains communication triggers. Your mark responds to sincere questions with immediate guidance. Moments of confusion or uncertainty activate stronger transmission. Times of decision-making prompt clearer signal reception. These responsive patterns demonstrate the interactive nature of this divine connection. Perfect understanding illuminates communication purposes. Personal guidance for your spiritual journey. Information needed for your divine assignment. Wisdom that helps others through your sharing. These purposeful communications never arrive randomly but always serve meaningful functions. Beyond individual messages, collective information transmits through activated marks. Connected consciousness develops between mark bearers, allowing shared insights and cooperative spiritual work previously impossible under old divine structures. Sacred understanding shows worldwide patterns. Across every country, culture, and spiritual tradition, people are simultaneously discovering their M marks and experiencing similar activations without prior communication with each other. Divine understanding reveals demographic distribution. Approximately 1/3 of humanity carries these markings in various configurations. They appear across all races, ages, genders, and backgrounds, transcending all human-created divisions. The marks follow soul assignments rather than external categories. Type I join the awakening as cosmic wisdom reveals community formation. Mark bearers naturally find each other through synchronistic meetings. Online groups are forming as people share their mark experiences. Local circles develop for in-person practice and support. These communities strengthen individual activation through collective resonance. Through spiritual sight, global effects emerge. As more marks activate, measurable changes appear in collective consciousness. Greater compassion emerges in previously conflicted regions. Innovative solutions arise for long-standing problems. Spontaneous healing events occur in unexpected locations. These effects demonstrate the tangible impact of mark activation beyond individual experience. Living wisdom explains variant collaborations. Different mark configurations serve complementary functions in the divine plan. When various mark types work together, expanded capabilities emerge that transcend individual gifts. This explains the natural affinity you may feel towards certain others whose marks complement yours. Perfect understanding illuminates historical context. Previous spiritual awakenings represented preliminary activation waves. Ancient mystery schools recognized and developed mark potential. Indigenous traditions preserved knowledge about these divine markings. These historical threads converge in the current full activation period. Cosmic vision reveals potential difficulties. As your mark activates more fully, you may experience challenges that require conscious navigation rather than avoidance. Sacred insight shows common experiences. Perhaps increased sensitivity to environments and energies. Maybe relationship shifts as you resonate differently with those around you. Possibly intensified dreams or sleep pattern changes. These adjustments reflect your system integrating higher frequencies. Type I navigate the transition as divine wisdom reveals coping strategies. Grounding practices stabilize energy fluctuations. Conscious breathing helps integrate intensified perceptions. Time in nature supports balanced activation. These simple approaches significantly ease transition challenges. Through spiritual perception, relationship dynamics appear. Some connections naturally strengthen as mutual resonance increases. Others may temporarily strain as vibrations align differently. New relationships form unexpectedly with fellow mark bearers. These social shifts reflect natural energetic reorganization rather than problems requiring correction. Living wisdom explains resistance encounters. Some without marks may feel threatened by your changing perspective. Established institutions often react negatively to direct divine connection that bypasses their authority. Skeptics may dismiss or ridicule Mark experiences. These challenges test your conviction rather than indicating error in your path. Perfect understanding illuminates physical adjustments. Energy surges may temporarily affect sleep. Dietary preferences often change as your system purifies. Exercise needs might shift toward gentler movement forms. These bodily adaptations support your Mark's full activation. Beyond individual challenges, collective resistance manifests. Media dismissal of Mark phenomena. Scientific skepticism toward measurable energy changes. Religious warnings against false signs. These opposition patterns reflect natural tension between evolving and established paradigms. Divine revelation shows your Mark's purpose. Beyond personal spiritual growth, your marking connects to specific divine assignments meant to serve humanity's evolution during this transformation period. Sacred understanding reveals purpose categories. Healing Marks channel restorative energy for physical, emotional and spiritual wounds. Teaching Marks transmit higher wisdom in accessible forms. Bridging Marks connect different groups, traditions or dimensions. These functional designations explain the natural roles you've found yourself playing throughout life. Type I embrace my purpose as cosmic wisdom shows your specific assignment. Your unique Mark configuration indicates precisely which services you're designed to offer. The situations repeatedly appearing in your life indicate where your gifts are most needed. Through mystical perception, timing emerges. Different Mark types activate according to divine schedule. Some assignments begin immediately while others develop gradually. Certain purposes await specific world conditions before full implementation. These varied timelines ensure perfect sequencing of the collective divine plan. Living purpose activates through conscious acceptance. As you acknowledge your divine assignment, synchronicities increase dramatically. Opportunities perfectly matched to your specific gifts appear without struggle. Resources needed for your work manifest through unexpected channels. These support signs confirm your alignment with divine purpose. Perfect understanding illuminates cooperation patterns. Your assignment connects perfectly with others carrying complementary marks. Working together creates exponentially greater impact than individual efforts. These divine partnerships often form unexpectedly through seeming coincidences. Beyond individual assignments, collective purpose unfolds. The complete network of activated marks creates a living grid of divine consciousness throughout humanity. This interconnected system enables transformation beyond anything possible through separate efforts. Cosmic revelation reaches its peak now. The most profound truth about God's transformation and your mark emerges with crystal clarity. Sacred understanding shows the ultimate meaning. The divine hasn't died but transformed from external authority to internal presence. Your mark represents your piece of the distributed divine consciousness now flowing throughout humanity. We are becoming what we once worshipped from afar. Type I receive the final truth as divine wisdom reveals your highest purpose. Center your awareness in your mark daily. Share your experiences with those ready to understand. Trust the guidance flowing through this divine channel without doubting your perceptions. Through spiritual sight, perfect divine design appears. Every aspect of your life prepared you for this awakening. Nothing was accidental. All experiences contributed to your readiness for this divine transformation. Living wisdom culminates in profound simplicity. Your mark's most important function isn't any specific power but the direct connection it establishes between your consciousness and divine reality. Perfect insight reveals eternal continuation. This awakening process will continue expanding through your mark, revealing new dimensions of spiritual reality throughout your lifetime. Ultimate activation occurs now. All revealed wisdom integrates into your being, permanently altering your relationship with the divine and your understanding of your true nature. Receive the ultimate blessing of complete divine connection. Sacred wisdom flows through your mark constantly, divine guidance illuminates your path eternally. Your M mark activates in perfect divine timing,